Hello, friends. When a woman IPS officer goes on a covert mission disguised as a widow to the prison, a terrifying truth about the prison is revealed to her. She realizes that the prison is not only a place to punish criminals, but has become a center of organized exploitation. The warden there, in the dead of night, calls the female prisoners to his room and physically exploits them. No female prisoner escapes his lustful advances. Each one is forced to abandon their identity. When the IPS Madam 2 arrives as a prisoner, the same thing happens to her that has been happening to the other prisoners. But friends, what happened next shook the entire prison system. After all, what did the IPS Madam do? To know that, watch the video till the end. You'll have a lot of fun and learn a great lesson. So friends, don't leave the video unfinished because incomplete knowledge is never equal to complete. Now, let's start the video. But before that, I request all of you to like the video, subscribe to the channel. So friends, let's start the video. Friends, it was around 10 p.m. The peace of Delhi seemed even deeper when IPS Bhavna Rathore sat leaning over her table inside the city's luxurious government bungalow. The files scattered in front of her and the blue light from the computer screen illuminated the room as a breeze of silence flowed through. Everything pointed to the fact that it wasn't an ordinary night. Her eyes kept fixing on the heavy file placed on the table as if the file was calling out to her. It read, "Confidential report on mismanagement of women's prison." Bhavna took a deep breath, as if gathering her inner strength, and opened the file. The first page shook her to the core. Inspector Ranjit Yadav was accused of sexual harassment, brutal beating, and mental exploitation of the female prisoners. 2 blurred pictures and a written transcript of an audio clip sent from unknown woods were attached below. Bhavana's heart skipped a beat. This wasn't just a duty. It was a call from a human being. The years of muffled cries of women trapped in the walls were audible. The government investigation would take time, but the screams of these women couldn't wait any longer. She told herself that night Bhavna made a bold decision. She would go to the prison herself, but not under her real identity. She would become Gauri, a poor 35-year-old widow falsely accused of murdering her middle-aged husband. A fake case, court remand, medical reports. Everything was made to look real. Information about this mission was only shared with 4 officers. 3 days later, a police jeep entered through the heavy gates of a women's prison in Delhi. A woman, her tongue hanging out and her skin dried up, looking very ordinary with a tired, disheveled appearance and broken wrists, was none other than IPS Bhavna Rathore, who was now in the prison in the guise of Gauri. On her first night in prison, her soul trembled. The food on the plate was rotten dal and dry bread, and above all, a female guard who cursed at her. The sound of crying was coming from every direction, as if each room had a sad story to tell. But Bhavana lived every moment. This wasn't a trick, it was a battle. Being a woman and becoming the voice for other women. The next day, a woman slowly came and sat close to her. "Did you just come here, sister? Don't talk too much. If the inspector notices you, your work will be over." She was Rubina, who had been kept in jail for 4 years without any trial. "Why?" Bhavna asked innocently. Rubina's eyes filled with tears. "That night he called me and denied me. He beats and stops me from eating, or gives me something mixed," she replied. Bhavna's heart was about to break, but she kept her face calm. She knew that this fight wouldn't be easy, but she wouldn't back down. She had hidden a small camera in the wardrobe, which was recording every movement. Her real uniform and mobile driver, Satish, were outside. On the 3rd night, Inspector Ranjit arrived. A tall, heavy-set man with an intimidating look in his eyes and arrogance on his face. "Are you new?" he asked with a smile. Bhavna lowered her head and said, "Gauri, just that." He held her chin and lifted her face. "Fresh air will come in this prison. This is good." Bhavna's body shuddered, but behind her eyes there was a cold fire burning. She checked the camera recordings. Everything was going smoothly, but she couldn't sleep. The crying from the cells disturbed her soul. She promised herself that no cry would be suppressed now. The end had begun. On the fourth day, 2 guards came in the middle of the night. "Number 114, come out," Sir called. The number 114 meant Gowrie. Bhavna's taken to a part of the prison that was called the Plain Barracks, a place where regular prisoners couldn't go. It was Inspector Ranjit's luxurious office. The walls had pictures, bottles of alcohol, and in one corner, an expensive sofa. "Come, new queen," Ranjit sat in his chair and said. "Now your name will be whatever I want." Bhavna's eyes were still calm, but the hidden camera in her scarf was recording everything. When Ranjit tried to pull her palu, Bhavna fearfully stepped back. "Are you scared?" he asked, laughing. "Yes," Bhavna said in a trembling voice. "There is no need to be scared once you get used to it here." Ranjit rang the bell and a female guard came in. "Put her in the barracks." The new room, though a little cleaner, was still under surveillance. At 2 a.m., the door opened again. Rubina silently entered. "Gauri Didi, be careful. He could come at any time. Many women have broken down here." Bhavna's eyes filled with tears, but her voice remained firm. "Now your voice won't just jump out of the wall, Rubina. I promise." The next 2 nights were terrifying. Inspector Ranjit tried everything, from sweet words to threats. Sometimes he sat beside her, tried to hold her hand, or even called her for food with a plate in his hand. But Bhavna played scared each time. She kept recording everything inside. Every tear, every trembling voice became part of her mission. For the past 4 days, a man in lawyer's attire, Satishish, was seen outside the prison every day. His eyes were constantly looking at the prison walls, and the small camera in his hand was recording every activity. He kept the footage safe. He was monitoring the movements of the jail staff and maintaining constant communication with the media and senior officials. Satish's goal was clear: to safely bring Bhavna out and expose the heinous conspiracy that was unfolding within the prison walls. And then came the 4th night, immersed in silence. But like the calm before a storm, that night Inspector Ranjit Yadav had warned Bhavna in clear terms. "Tonight, your final test will be. You will bow down, or I will erase your existence." Bhavna's door opened, but this time she was not weak. She had a high-tech device hidden and strapped to her back. This device could send a signal to Satish outside the prison with the push of a button. As the inspector entered the room and his drunken eyes began to reveal his lust, Bhavna pressed the button on the device. Satish, sitting in the car outside the prison, received the signal. He immediately sprang into action. With him were the ready commissioner, female commission officers, and 2 journalists, and they quickly headed towards the prison. Now, a new breeze began to flow in the suffocating nights of the prison. Inside, Bhavna was still standing as Gowrie, but her eyes no longer showed only fear. There was a fire burning in them. No one could hear the cries of the prison walls anymore. She had feared a great storm. Bhavna's mission had now reached a point where returning was impossible. It was 11 p.m. Inspector Ranjit came out of his room swaying with a bottle of alcohol in his hand. In his pocket was the VIP locker key. This was where Gauri, i.e. Bhavna, was locked. The 2 guards posted at the gate moved across the path as though it was a daily matter, following his signal. As the door opened, Ranjit said, "No excuses will be accepted today. Gauri, from now on, you will be mine." Bhavna took 2 steps back and in a low voice said, "I am ready to serve you, sir. Just have some mercy." Ranjit closed the door. Now there were only 2 people inside. one prey and one hunter. But in reality, the prey had not yet been caught. Bhavana slowly pressed the button on her waist and the live feed began. Satish immediately started streaming the video live online. As Ranjit moved towards Bhavana, she stopped and said, "Before you come closer, know one thing. Should I serve you first, or should I expose the secret I know?" Ranjit stopped. "What are you trying to say?" Bhavana's eyes now showed no fear or hesitation, only a flame of fire. "In this prison, you don't just wear a uniform. You run a racket. Rubina, Shabnam, and many other women have fallen prey to your lust and greed. Bringing drugs into the jail, selling women and throwing the bodies of anyone who speaks into a well. This is your truth, isn't it?" Ranjit tried to laugh. "What will you do, old woman? Who will listen to you?" Bhavana said in a cold voice, "The ones who wanted to hear are hearing. You live now. The whole country is watching." Ranjit's face turned pale as he turned around, and at that moment the door opened. The female commission officers, the police commissioner, the journalists, and Satish entered. "Inspector Ranjit Yadav, you are arrested for attempted rape, sexual harassment, and criminal conduct within the prison." Ranjit tried to escape, but the handcuffed police officers surrounded him from all sides. Those who had been following his orders all this time were standing with their heads bowed. Bhavana now moved forward with her true identity as IPS officer Bhavana Rathore. She glanced at the room one last time. This was not just the arrest of a police inspector. It was the defeat of the system that had been suppressing the cries of women for years. Now, not fear, but truth would resonate in every room. A riot began inside the prison. CBC records, files of missing women, fake registers, and drugs started being recovered. A complete conspiracy was being exposed, and then that one thing was found that changed everything: a secret diary. The diary clearly stated that, under the orders of the master, Rubina had been transferred. A new woman named Bhavna had arrived as a VIP. The master had also ordered to break her. Like the other women, Bhavna's eyes had hardened. Now she was not just a police officer. She was the voice of every woman whose cries had been suppressed until now. The next day, a secret meeting was held with the Women's Commission and the Special Crime Branch. From there, a name emerged: Raghav Tripathi. A 3-time elected legislator, a respected leader, the real mastermind behind everything. The same person who sheltered officers like Ranjit and ran the entire system from behind the scenes. Bhavana now understood that Ranjit had fallen, but the real predator was still alive, and her fight was about to become much bigger. Bhavana Rathore had now gathered so much evidence that she could have exposed the case at any moment. But this was very delicate because the person involved wasn't an ordinary man, but a legislator of the ruling party, Raghav Tripathi. Taking direct action against him could not only create political instability, but the investigation could also get stuck in legal complications. So, Bhavana made the next plan. And now she wasn't alone. The entire state's special task force was with her. Then suddenly, Bhavana's phone rang. A trembling woman's voice came from the other end. "Madam, my name is Shabnam. I too am a victim of the same network. I know where the master, Raghav Tripathi, is, but my life is in danger. Please help me." Without delay, Bhavana took the call seriously. The next morning she disguised herself and left to meet Shabnam alone without any official vehicle. Shabnam took her to an old farmhouse in a secluded area. From the outside, the place seemed normal, but as soon as Bhavana stepped inside, she realized this was no farmhouse. It was a torture den. Cameras everywhere, armed guards, and secret doors. Everything indicated that a serious crime was being committed here. Raghav Tripathi often hosted special parties, where female prisoners and innocent girls were auctioned. On the other hand, Raghav had now suspected that someone was following him. Hearing Bhavna's name, he became furious. He told his associates very clearly that she would not be kept alive. She was an IPS officer. She would expose the levels. Erase her. Bhavna had now plunged into a mission where her attire, her life, and her resolve were all at risk. But this time there was no fear in her eyes. There was a spark of revolution. She had decided that no one would be Gauri, Shabnam, or Rubina anymore. During the meeting, an express delivery person arrived with a suspicious parcel. The feeling opened her up. Inside there was a burned sari and a threatening letter. "You have set fire to our base. That same fire will turn you and your mission to ashes. Now you are not just an IPS officer, you are our enemy." Bhavna read the letter, then calmly placed it on the table. There was no fear on her face. It was only firm determination. That very night, she learned that a special party was being hosted at the farmhouse. 5 girls were being brought from the prison to be displayed in front of foreign guests. Bhavna knew this was the opportunity. She declared Operation Black Night. At 9 p.m., she left with her team. But on the way, a truck collided with their car on a bridge. The driver, Satish, died on the spot, and Bhavna was seriously injured. This wasn't an accident. It was a conspiracy. During the interrogation, the truck driver said that he had been instructed to stop the IPS madam at any cost. Once Bhavna regained consciousness, she said, "Call my colleagues, the operation will continue. Even if I have to go on a stretcher." Her face was bandaged with pain lines visible, but her eyes had firm resolve as she rejoined the operation. The STF surrounded the farmhouse from all sides. At midnight, as soon as they received the secret signal, the door was broken down. There were gunshots, screams, and chaos. Raghav Tripathi tried to escape through the back door, but he was arrested. 5 girls were rescued, including Rubina, who had previously been declared dead. After Raghav's arrest, a hearing took place in court. Outside, a huge crowd was chanting, "IPS Bhavna Rathore Zindabad," and "Hang the rapists." In court, Bhavna said, "Honorable court. We have made criminals out of leaders like Raghav. That was our biggest mistake. They turned the prisons into houses of exploitation. I urge you to punish him not just by law, but by humanity." Based on the evidence, witnesses, and video footage, the court sentenced Raghav Tripathi to life imprisonment for charges of rape, human trafficking, conspiracy to murder, and corruption. The Ministry of Home Affairs awarded Bhavna the Saurya Medal. But she didn't go to the stage. She went straight to the rehabilitation center where Rubina, Shabnam, and other girls were. As soon as they saw Bhavna, they ran to her and hugged her. "Madam, you made us feel like human beings." Bhavna's eyes filled with tears. "Now you will live not just the rest of your life, but a new life." A few months later, she was offered the position of chairperson of the National Women's Safety Commission, but she declined. Her answer was, "My field is where there is oppression and where justice is needed." A reporter asked her the last question, "Madam, don't you fear such powerful enemies?" Bhavna smiled. "When a woman, a widow, can go to jail, any woman can change the system." And with that smile, a new dawn of justice began. Friends, if you liked today's story, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comment box.